John here from Great Lakes Country, and I'm out here in the beautiful woods of northern Michigan. It's bright and early, a crisp, cool spring morning, and I'm ready for some coffee. Now, there's a guy that you may have very well seen on YouTube or elsewhere named Cowboy Kent Rollins. He's been a chuck wagon cook and a TV and internet personality for many years. He's got a very popular YouTube channel in which he does a lot of outdoor cooking. And one of his sort of trademark things that he makes is his famous cowboy coffee. And I've been camping and hunting and otherwise spending time in the woods my entire life, but admittedly, I've never actually tried the cowboy coffee, at least not in the manner that Kent Rollins makes it. So in this video, I figured I'd make up a batch of this cowboy coffee and finally try it for myself. It's super simple. There's just a couple of steps you gotta do. I've got everything I need. I've got a coffee pot. I've got some coffee, some water, and a heat source. So let's give it a try and see if it's all it's cracked up to be. Now, Kent says to use 3/4 of a cup of coffee for a 3-quart pot. But the problem with that, as I learned in the sort of first take that I did of this, is that yes, this coffee pot can hold 3 quarts of water, and that 3 quarts brings you just beneath the spout of the coffee pot. But as soon as that water starts boiling, it's too close to the top and it totally boils over. So I had a mess of boiling water and coffee grounds all over my camp stove. So for this next try, I guess I'm gonna cut that recipe down and just use half a cup of coffee with 2 quarts of water in the pot. So the first thing I need to do is get that 2 quarts of water in my enamel coffee pot, get it over the burner on high heat, and bring the temperature of that water up to somewhere that I'd call warm, but not boiling, not simmering, not super hot, just warm. Then I'm just pouring in my half cup of coffee grounds. Now I'll let the heat keep cranking away and bring that water up to a boil. And I'm gonna let it boil for 3 full minutes. Again, this is according to Kent Rollins' exact directions. After that's been at a full rolling boil for 3 minutes, I'm turning off the heat, and now I let it sit. Just leave it alone for about 2 minutes. And now for what I guess might be called the magic step. You're thinking there's gonna be coffee grounds floating around or clung to the inside of the spout, and it's gonna get into my coffee cup when I go to pour it. Well, the trick here is to pour about half a cup of cold water into the pot, specifically down the spout of the pot. That's said to shock the grounds and make them sink to the bottom of the pot. And now they're out of the way and they won't get in your cup when you pour yourself some. Now, one of Kent Rollins' claims when he's talking about his cowboy coffee is that boiling the grounds reduces the acidity and you'll never get acid reflux or heartburn from the coffee. He also says that the boiling makes it taste much smoother. Now, from doing a little of my own research, it seems that this may not actually be the case, as boiling actually extracts and releases more compounds from the coffee beans, including acids, into the brew. If you were really looking to reduce the acidity of a coffee, something like a cold brew would be the best way to reduce it if that's your objective. But that doesn't exactly help much when you want a hot cup of coffee on a cold morning. As for the smoothness, the taste of the coffee when boiled can be perceived as smoother due to the extraction of those compounds that contribute to a more complex flavor profile and possibly even masking that acidity, though it's still technically in there. The taste and smell of this coffee reminds me of when I was a teenager. I frequently volunteered at various events held by the Boy Scouts, and I'd commonly work in the commercial kitchen at the big lodges at one of their campgrounds in Michigan. Those kitchens had these enormous percolators. I usually worked winter events and you had to keep the coffee flowing. But the smell and the taste of this coffee boiled in this type of pot, for whatever reason, brings me right back to that lodge kitchen. It's sort of crazy how the exact same coffee can taste and smell so different based only on the method by which you combine it with hot water. I like it, it's perfectly good, but This may not become my new favorite way to make my daily coffee, but I can absolutely see the appeal when you gotta make a lot of coffee outdoors in pretty rugged country for a whole bunch of people. All you need is the metal coffee pot and the coffee, and you can brew up a pretty decent cup that nobody's gonna complain about. It tastes perfectly nice. It tastes like coffee. There's definitely a bit of a difference between how I normally brew my morning coffee. These days, I tend to use a French press because it's the fastest way to make what I consider to be a very good cup of coffee. I've had every manner of coffee maker and percolator and drip and everything else, and I've become a big fan of the French press. You pour in hot water, you let it sit a minute, you've got yourself a pretty strong, full-bodied, rich, and in my opinion, smooth cup of delicious coffee. So I guess I'll probably stick to doing that unless, again, I'm out here in the woods and I need to fire up a pretty big batch of coffee for a bunch of people. The French press is pretty good for one really big cup of coffee or two medium-sized cups of coffee, but it's not really that practical if you need to make a lot at once. Anyway, that's my take on Kent Rollins' Cowboy coffee. And if you're not familiar with Kent Rollins, you really do owe it to yourself to check out his YouTube channel. It's just called Cowboy Kent Rollins. He's got years and years worth of outdoor cooking and cast iron and live fire cooking and cowboy stories from back in the old times. It's got a little something for everyone. It's super wholesome, and him and his wife Shannon are just super likable people. I actually interviewed them on this channel about 5 years ago via Zoom, of course, during the pandemic lockdown and all that. Unfortunately, I haven't had a chance to meet them myself. One day, maybe I will. Super good people, super good videos. Make sure to check it out. And while you're at it, be sure to click like on this video and subscribe to this channel and stay up to date with lots more stuff in the future, including outdoor cooking videos. Thanks for watching, and until next time, I'm John, and this is Great Lakes Country.